Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Michigan International Speedway. I'm already breaking equipment.
I'll do that in a couple hours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Welcome into the media center this morning, Mr. AJ Allmendinger, driver of the number 47 Kroger Hungry Jack Crisco Chevrolet for JTG Doherty Racing. Has 4 top 15 finishes at Michigan, 15 starts. And is also obviously looking ahead to Sonoma in a few weeks. He's posted 2 top 10 finishes there and won the pole there last year. So good couple of weeks ahead of you, potentially.
We hope.
Obviously,
Yeah.
This is a nice stretch for you overall historically, but how are you feeling right now about the team and how you're driving?
Well, I'm driving quite perfect, actually. Yeah, so I don't know about the team, but my driving's been pretty spot on. All kidding aside, I think it's going fairly well. We've been bouncing, kind of right in that cutoff right now, bouncing back and forth between in the chase and out of the chase. Still a lot of weeks ahead of us, but just the way the team's progressing. We got pretty good speeds in the car, kind of everywhere we go. The places like Charlotte, Pocono last week, in Michigan are tracks that the last couple of years we've really struggled at, and I feel like although we not quite where we want to be, definitely have improved. So, everything kind of looking ahead, we're heading the right direction. It's just, right where we're at in points right now, it's, you have a bad week and it's a big hit, and you have a good week and you're back inside the chase. So it's the way it's going to be, and just try to go out every weekend and put our best foot forward and try to minimize our mistakes and get everything that we can, maximize the finishes. No matter whether we got a great race car or not a good race car, and just try to get everything we can out of it.
All right. Just shoot up your hand, get my attention. AJ's here, so always there's lots of lights and paparazzi, so it's hard for me to see a little bit. But we'll start over here with Mike, and then we'll go over to Lee, and then we'll come over to Bob.
AJ, Mike from the Detroit Free Press. You're on a smaller team, but you're a good driver. Where do you get what sort of gains do you look for against the bigger guys, and how do you get there, and can you get there on a team like yours?
Yeah, I think we can get there. It's a lot harder to get there for sure. We got to, with 50 people on our race team, we all got to kind of work together, which makes this race team a lot of fun. Tad and Jody really go out there and make this team a family. And this is my 3rd year with the team, and I really feel like as a team gelling together with the additions of Randall Burnett, which is my crew chief, and Ernie Cope, the competition director. Guys like Brian Burns and Tony Palmer, which had been the crew chief and lead engineer. They kind of stepped down and went to the engineering side of it. So everything's gelling well. You'd like everything overnight. You'd love to show up and just say, all right, our cars are the fastest cars there, and we go out there and have a chance to win every weekend. It's not that easy. But if you look at a team like the 78, it's taken a lot of years to get where they're at right now, for sure. This is what their 11th, 12th year maybe in NASCAR, and over the last 2 years is by far been their best season. So it definitely takes time, but they also show if you go out there and you work hard together, work in the right areas, you have the people that are smart enough to know which directions we have to head as NASCAR always keeps kind of developing and working on new packages like we have this weekend. We can get there, and it just takes a lot of hard work and a lot of sticking together. So I see that in our race team. We're not quite there yet, but we're definitely, as I said, heading in the right direction to where we can continually compete inside the top 15, then the top 10, then contend for wins any given racetrack.
Just one follow-up. Is your humor, the way that you approach life, does that help, when things are down?
Jen, does that help? That's why Jen just walks around just angry all the time. No, you know what? It's I try to have fun with it, but I'll be the first person to admit, if it's you'll see it on my face when it's not going well, or if I'm hard on myself. That's the biggest thing. I'm really hard on myself. I appreciate and understand how hard my guys work every weekend. And I really do appreciate it. I try to show how much I appreciate it. I try to thank them every chance that I get. But I'm hard on myself. I always feel like even if we're not great that weekend, that somehow I can strap it to my back and go out there and get more out of it. It's harder to do it on a place like Michigan. You got to have a car that's set up right. You know, that's why I enjoy the road courses, which has always been my background, because I feel like as a driver you can make just a little bit more of a difference. But in the end, you know, I think and I hope that my guys know, even if I'm down, that I'm giving everything I got, and I'm down because I want to get more for them. So, you know, it's just like everything else. It's ups and downs. I'm trying to learn how to be better about kind of staying middle of the road. I'm definitely not there yet, for sure, but that's the biggest thing. I just try to make sure my guys know how much I care and how much I want it for them and for us.
Go over to Candace, and then we will go to Mr. Pockruss.
Candace Spencer, motorsport.com. You can call me Candy, though.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, you're going to your...
Which is a different line than I usually use, because I say I don't care what you call me as long as you call me. So whatever. Candy, go ahead.
Thank you. You're going home next weekend when we get to Sonoma, and what would it mean to win in front of your home crowd, or what you consider your home track?
Yeah, I mean, it's you try to go out there, and I try to have the mindset, you know, it's just another weekend, but we know it's not. It's there's a lot of great things. It's my home race. It's a race that I grew up going to. I always enjoy. I think it's one of the best racetracks that we have in the U.S. when it comes to road course racing. You know, it's a home race for our sponsor, Kingsford and Clorox. You know, we got a lot of people that show up from the corporation that's based in Oakland, so only, you know, an hour or so down the road. You know, we're going to have Ralph's on the car, which is a Kroger company, but it's a home company, you know, a store that I've went to a lot growing up. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that comes down to why it would be special to win. But in the end, it'd be special because it gets you into the chase. And you go out there and it makes the rest of the season just a little bit easier to prepare for the chase. But yeah, I mean, that's you know, everybody's got that home race that stands out. You know, we know the biggest races in our sport, the Daytona 500, you know, Brickyard, Darlington. But, you know, for me, Sonoma's is on top of the list because that's a race that I've loved. I have family and friends. And it would be a special moment to go out there and be able to share that and spend that in victory lane. But you can't get ahead of yourself. I mean, it's such a tough and difficult race. Although we've been fast there, if you look at my stats, they're not very good just because there's a lot of bad luck. There's a lot of ups and downs during the race, whether it comes with cautions, the way the tires are used there, the strategy. So it's a long ways to get there. But I know when we show up, we're going to have a good car and we're going to have a good shot to win it.
And as one of the four drivers who was crew chief last week, can you talk about what, you know, pretty much what you guys went through? I mean, I know you have depth in your organization with several crew chiefs to fall back on, but can you kind of talk about, you know, so people understand what it was like, how it was different not having Randall there?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's a difficult rule for sure. You know, when you have a lug nut off a tire at the end of the race, and now your crew chief suspended and things like that. I mean, it's a difficult rule, but we've kind of put ourselves in that box, and you know, it was a certain challenge. But Ernie Cope was, you know, he was there as the crew chief, you know, as our competition director, and you know, Randall and I and Ernie and all of us have all worked together. So I wouldn't say it was that big of a challenge. It was just a different voice on the radio. We didn't really go about the weekend any different. I did think we learned some stuff. Ernie wanted to try a couple things, and I think it helped us. So in the end, I hope it makes us a little bit better. And but overall, you know, that's what's good about our. I'd say if this happened last year, we'd have been in real big trouble. But this year we got the depth, and we got all the people kind of working together. So it was just in the end, it was just a different voice on the radio.
Thanks, Lee. We'll go to Bob and then over to Brian in the middle.
Bob Pockruss, ESPN. Before all the road course races, you keep telling us, well, we're trying not to put too much pressure on ourselves. How successful are you at doing that? And then also the fact that you're kind of on the bubble versus maybe if you were like 22nd or 23rd in points, does that change as far as the pressure or how you would approach Sonoma?
I mean, obviously, Bob, you see I'm really successful at it. I'm pretty calm all the time. So, there's no pressure at all. It's not on my mind. I don't think about it. It's not going to bother me at all. I'm not thinking about it right now, actually. So, it's not going to bother my golf game in Pebble. You like that? I'm going to Pebble. Yeah, it's going to be good. So I like that. Yeah, like I said, I mean, we know we show up, we're going to have an opportunity to win the race. We go do the right things. The biggest differences this year is being kind of on the bubble. Hopefully we have a good weekend here, and we're in the cutoff line at the end of this weekend. But, the biggest deal is that it doesn't have to be an all or nothing scenario, which it has been the last 2 years. We go there and have a good weekend and finish second the last 2 years. It's great, but it doesn't do anything for us because we're so far out of the top 16 in points. It was win or bust at Sonoma or Watkins Glen, which no matter how you try to look at it, there's more pressure doing that. And I drove like it, knowing that I had to win the race to make any kind of difference for our season. So this year, it's, of course, the ultimate goal is still to win, but we go finish in the top 5. It's a good day. It's going to be good in points. It's going to help us out a lot. So that's kind of the mentality that we got to have. But, in the end, you see how Friday goes and see how Saturday goes, see what kind of race car you have and what kind of expectations you have for Sunday.
All right, we'll go over to Brian, and then we'll wrap it up with Chris Knight.
Brian Nelson, MRN. Dinger, so you kind of talked about it not affecting your golf game and your attitude about going into Sonoma, but with vacation the next week, I got to imagine you're just eagerly looking forward to having a break. With Sonoma looming, whether it's your desire to win at home or eyeing the chase berth, does Sonoma hanging out the following weekend intrude at all? Will that be on your mind? How do you deal with that while you're on vacation?
It'll always be on my mind. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about the upcoming race, and especially Sonoma. It'd be good on the off weekend, more for our guys to get away. They work so hard, and especially our crew guys that are here, because we don't have a lot of people. They have to be here all weekend and then go home on Monday, and they start tearing apart the car and start getting the next car ready and so on. So it's good for everybody to get a break and be able to spend some time with their family or just get away. For me, like I said, I'm going to go play some golf in Pebble and have a good time. But, like I said, there won't be a moment that I'm on the golf course that at least not on the back of my mind. It's the struggles to not make it on the front of my mind. And that's what I have to be better about, is doing the right things, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, leading up, going into Sonoma, making sure I'm still taking care of myself and focused on the prize, which is going there and being the best that I can be when I get to the racetrack. But that's the biggest thing. It'll be there on my mind. It's just how good am I about not making it on the front of my mind until I pull into Sonoma on Friday. So I guess we'll wait and see about that. We'll see what the golf scores are. If it's mid-90s at Pebble, it's on the front of my mind. If I'm shooting low 80s, it's definitely in the back of my mind.
Mr. Knight right there.
Chris Knight, CatchFans.com. AJ, was announced this week that you're going to be one of the 4 drivers that RCR's added to their Xfinity Series lineup. What prompted that, and how much are you looking forward to the opportunity?
What prompted it was RC coming to me and asked me if I would want to do the road course race at Mid-Ohio on our off weekend. So, for sure, Mid-Ohio was a special victory that I had back in 2013 when I was with Team Penske, and I love the racetrack. I love the atmosphere there. There's always a big crowd, and more importantly, I know that I can get in that race car and have a chance to win, and that was the easiest decision on that, was the fact that, especially the 2-car, but all of RCR and their program, whether it's the Cup or the Xfinity Series, it's strong, and they show up and they have a chance to win the race. So, any chance that you have to go win in a race in a NASCAR series, it makes it a lot easier to make the decision and say yes. So I look forward to it. I'm thankful that RC thought of me, and I think we're going to have Ream on the car for that race. So to have Ream to say that they want me in the race car is a big deal. So it'll be a lot of fun, and when we get to that point, I'll be definitely excited to get in that race car and go have a shot to win at Mid-Ohio again.
All right, thank you, AJ.
Cool.
Appreciate you
Thank
kicking
you,
us
guys.
off today.